WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another edition of the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom, it's Tanner. What's up, bud?
Oh, feeling good. You know, we got a direction that this team's going to be heading, and guess which way that is? Up, baby. Let's go.
For podcast listeners, I pointed directly up.
Yeah. Yeah, exciting. We got the head coach hire. We got an assistant added. You know,
technically 2 assistants added.
Okay. Yeah.
Technically
waiting on a third, right?
Waiting on a third. A couple coaches dismissed. Another coach coming back. So it's shaping up, and I don't know. We'll get into it. Like lots for me personally. I think a lot of questions I had and concerns, and just a little bit of worry. Kind of went out the door today as the Blackhawks introduced Jeff Blashill as the newest head coach in the franchise history.
42nd.
See, I saw someone that said it was 38.
Yeah, I don't know. I see 42nd everywhere else.
I don't know. But anyway, so it was a very quick introductory press conference. It wasn't anything too elaborate, no glitz and glamour, just straight to the point. What was your initial takeaway from it?
I'm just excited. I think he just said all the right things. As nice as it is to say all the right things, you know, it's getting those things done that's what matters. But a lot of excitement, I think, because of just, you know, his talk about learning from mistakes, learning under John Cooper, like handling that team and like the stars that they had, and how he's going to transition that to the way that the Blackhawks are, saying he's basically going to help Bedard take it to another level. Like so many great things to hear.
Not just Bedard, taking the entire prospect pool that potentially, he said, realistically, you know, not everybody's going to pan out and all that kind of stuff, but the goal is to get as many of these prospects in the system ready, so the depth that we have is just unmatched across the league. He started off by saying that this was the exact type of position that he was looking for when it came to jumping back into the head coaching role. Take it for a grain of salt. I mean, I'm sure he's saying whatever, you know, good PR right there. But again, it does make sense. He talks about what I really liked what he talked about was he really hit home with Detroit, and a lot of the people asking questions there were asking about Detroit and what went wrong and all that kind of stuff. And he pretty much talked about like the situation came into Detroit was a lot different of a rebuild situation than it is in Chicago. Detroit was on the decline. Chicago's on the way up. What he has taken away from that situation in Detroit is that he knows where all the pitfalls are in a rebuild and what could be worst case scenario. And now he knows how to handle that better and how to adjust it and attack it and make sure that doesn't happen, or at least get to the point where it did in Detroit here in Chicago.
Yeah, and then we had talked earlier, but didn't you say like some of the best years of like Larkin and like Bertuzzi were under him, and like Moritz Seider's like Calder Trophy year was under him.
Yeah.
He knows how to get the young guys going.
Yeah, and it seems like he's a coach's guy or a player's coach. And Bertuzzi, when he got hired, there was reports of him talking about how he's already familiar with him and he enjoyed his time with him, and that's going to be a nice I can't say the word today.
Familiarity.
Yes. Coming back to next season, which as your favorite player, you should be excited to see Tyler Bertuzzi hopefully getting back to another level that he once was.
If he can just be consistent, that'd be great. And then maybe stay on his feet more often. That'd be sick.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think one of the things I thought was kind of funny during the press conference was he was talking about accountability, you know, all throughout, like players holding players accountable, but then like, you know, being able to hold players accountable as well.
Mhm.
And then he's like talking about how he expects everybody to get better. And he's like, even Nick Foligno, I expect him to get better throughout the season. And I was just like, that's so funny because he's sitting there. And like,
Yeah.
and it came out like later that Foligno was like, yeah, we haven't really had a chance to talk yet. Like, we're gonna go have like break bread and like chat. It's like, that's really, I just think it's kind of funny that he just called him out a little bit before like actually having a conversation with him.
It had to be done on purpose because he was sitting there 100%. But no, I wrote down that as a buzzword, accountability. That came up a lot, and I really like that mindset. And I don't know, I kind of mentioned this to you when we talked earlier, that going back to like when Jeremy Colleton and Luke Richardson had their introductory press conference and they had their first time to really speak to the media and give their vision of what they are is going to be bringing to this team and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get the same confidence and more of a like
from them.
From them, yeah. So I didn't get much of a confidence or, you know, like, hey, I'm here, let's get this done and let's take this to the next level. Which is why I really like this interview, because listening to this, we all know the history with him, with how Detroit won and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So of course, I mean, yeah, I had some questions like, okay, is he really the right guy? I mean, type of situation coming into this and all this, blah, blah, blah. But listening to talk, and either he's a really good salesman or he truly learned and is ready to prove everybody wrong, because like after listening to talk, I'm like, this guy's the fucking coach. Like, let's fucking go. I haven't felt this way in a long time about who was running this team.
Feel a little bit in your pants.
A little bit.
A little tight down there.
A little excited.
I think the thing that's like can be misconstrued is like, oh, like that team was bad. It's like most of the time if a team's bad, like a coach doesn't spend 7 years behind the bench. Like he was definitely doing something right while he was doing that. If he was doing something wrong, he would have been fired way earlier than that. But like they knew they put him in a bad situation and he was doing the best he could with it. And I think that's where people just, you know, look at the win-loss record and are like, oh, what a shit coach. And then now as more and more comes out, like he gets the highest praise from like some of the biggest names in the league, that like in the front offices and things like that. Like, was it Bill Zito came out and said that it's a 10-star hire, he thinks.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not even the organization he came from. That's a rival organization that thinks that Jeff Blashill is fucking that good and that awesome. I think it's great.
The other thing too, to kind of like go back and talk about the whole situation with Detroit, it's not on the coach. Best he can do is what he's dealt. This Yzer plan has been going for how long in Detroit, and they still haven't reached that point yet.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get over the hump. But I don't think the Yzer plan wasn't going when he started.
I think it was. I think it was like
because I'm pretty sure his first draft, Yzerman, that's when he drafted Moritz Seider.
But wasn't that I'm talking about when Yzerman took over and all that kind of stuff, and the rebuild still wasn't going where it should be, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, like they should be doing better. But I'm just saying, when Blashill first started, I don't think it was Yzerman that was the GM still. I think Yzerman came in later.
When did he come in? I'm trying to look this up. $2019.
Yeah. So he started in 15-16.
Okay, but what was the overlap between the two? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
From 2019 to 2022.
So there's still some overlap. What I'm saying though, it's like they just, he didn't have this whole rebuild plan going in the way that could benefit him in terms of coaching and proving what he can do. That's all I was trying to say with that.
Yeah. I think that's where like the first few years, like they were floundering And then when he came in, that's when they started the rebuild plan. But it was like they were already like an aging group of veterans that like it just wasn't turning over well to like the younger core, and it was just kind of like, all right, now you got to kind of fix it. But like there was nothing Blashill could do, right? Like that's a tough situation to be in. Like you're just trying to win hockey games when you can.
A couple other things I kind of like took notes on from his thing, from his press conference is talking about homegrown talent is key. We already mentioned that, talking about how he wants to develop these players so the depth in the organization can just be next man out type of situation, which is also very interesting because when he was coaching Detroit, he talked about how he lived 5 minutes away from the U.S. National Development Arena and would take time and go watch those kids practice and play whenever he got the chance. And so there's a decent amount of Blackhawk prospects that did go through that program that he already has some sort of a knowledge of. It's not like he's coming in blind. He talked about really focusing on the last like few weeks of the season when Renzel was playing, Moore was playing. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but watching Nazar and Vlasic at the World Championship. So it's like he has an idea of the potential of these young players, and it's not just like one of those coming in blind. Oh, here's your guys, you learn them and all this kind of stuff. He's already got that homework done.
Yeah, and I think I had seen somewhere, and I can't remember where it was exactly, but it was like the last few weeks of the season, like with the way that there was the youth movement coming in, that actually got a lot more outside coaches and people like really being like, oh yeah, actually I really want to coach that team. Like that, it got a lot of people like sparked their interest, and I think that's where Blashill was also kind of like, oh shit,
it's gonna be cool. He talked about his past experience, both good and bad. He talked about building up programs like in the USHL, Western Michigan, and Grand Rapids, if going from nothing to winning championships, and that obviously Western Michigan didn't win a championship. I think you mentioned that last week when we talked about it, but then he also talked about knowing what it takes to take a program to the next level. He knows about the pains of a rebuild, and as I mentioned, knows what to avoid and what to do to avoid that. And then the big thing that he really kept hitting home, and you already talked about, is learning from his time in Tampa. He even said that if this job opportunity came after 1 year in Tampa, he probably wouldn't feel as confident to take it and be able to do a good job as he does after 3 years of learning under John Cooper and learning what a world-class organization that went to consecutive Stanley Cups and just pure domination in coaching stars and all that. Like he really knows now what he needs to do to take a team to the next level. And that was like one of the quotes that I really liked. I don't know if you guys saw it on social media. I already posted it, but he goes, on day one of training camp, I can stand in front of our group and know exactly what it's going to take to get us to the next level. Not guess, not hope, but know. And when he said that, I was like, fuck yes.
Yeah, it's good shit. That was just like, we got to see it in action. That's all it is. Like, I feel like I haven't been this excited for a coach in a while, right? Like, we got excited for just like the potential of like not being terrible when it was like Luke Richardson. Like, I thought he was going to be a good coach, like good guy, but like we knew he was in a bad situation, and he basically came out and just said like, we're going to be hard as hell to play against. Like, didn't come out and say like we're going to win games and shit, you know.
He was Blashill in Detroit for Chicago. Like, he came in when there was just no good possibilities. So I'm really hoping that Richardson gets his shot, because I do like Richardson.
Yeah,
I just don't think he was quite ready.
It was just, I don't think the Bedard is the type of player to thrive in Richardson's system.
Yeah.
So I feel like he might, I mean, other than like Mitchkov, like he'd be great in Philly, but they already got Tocchet.
Yeah. The other thing that I really liked, I have two more things to talk about with that. Kate, he talked about the interview process and talk about Katie's vision versus what he sees. And then somebody also asked about like, you know, your coaching style, like how does your coaching style fit like what is going on in Chicago? And he talked about, hit home how we talk about, Katie's vision is speed and skating.
Mhm.
And he goes, you can take both of those aspects to my coaching style. Whether when it comes to defense, leaving no space for the players to do anything. You can't do that without good skating. When it comes to offense, creating space and separating yourself from your opponent, can't do that without good speed and skating. So it's like I'm kind of seeing he's already looking to adjust his style, that he's not committed to. A lot of coaches are like, hey, this is how I coach. This is
Yeah.
how you guys are going to learn. This is what it is. And he even mentioned that when he said that he's going to talk to his coaching staff about creating a new breakout that fits this team better. Like, so it's like that right there too was like a huge green flag for me, because I'm like, okay, most coaches are going to be like, okay, here's the breakout. Here's what you have to do. Do it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, no, let's talk as a team, find out our strengths and the type of things that work best, and let's make the adjustment and go.
Yeah. And that's what I mean, it's just exciting. Again, saying all the right things. I love it.
Yeah. And this again, giant asterisk, because even he said it again, saying the right things. Someone asked him what the timeline is for a championship and all that, and he said, and he was straight up honest, I don't have one. He goes, I cannot put a timeline on that. He goes, there's still a lot of pain coming, but it's like the whole point is to develop and take it to the next level now that the blueprint is there. And that's what I really hope that the fan base is understanding for, is that they come in with an open mind and give this guy a long leash and be like, hey, we're not going to make the playoffs this year, but we might move up 10 points. We might move up 15 points, you know?
I'm just looking forward to like seeing better structure on the ice, right? Like not like a bunch of guys running around and like just a ton of defensive breakdowns, not like teams getting right back in the game after we score a goal, like, you know, getting that shit together.
And I'm hoping that there's going to be some more consistency where Bedard's not playing with 60 different line combinations.
Fuck yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? Please. Can we just, like, if there's like 3 lines max, unless there's injuries, you know, like that you can like pop somebody into the line with him. I'm like excited to, not just for Blashill, but Michael Pekka. And kind of mentioned before, it was like he helped the Rangers get to like top 5 in like face-off rating, or no, 50 above 50% in face-off rating, top 5 in the power play. If the Hawks really want Bedard to be a center and work on face-offs, Michael Pekka is a great coach for that.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping, like, I mean, Bedard's that kind of player where you're like, it really feels like if he wants to be a lot better at something, he will. And like having 100%. Michael Pekka, who was a 2-time Selke winner and just all around great 2-way center, like good at faceoffs and everything, like that's a fantastic coach to have.
1000%. And I really hope that they're already having conversations about potential, like, you know, what to do in the off season and all that kind of stuff.
Blashill even mentioned that he knows that Betsy's working on foot speed and his skating, and
that's what he said.
He said something about how like he's glad that he's already getting ahead of it.
Well, that's why. So he said that at the end of the season, that's like his exit interview with the media, that's what he wanted to focus on, was picking up his speed and work on his skating. It's the reason why he didn't play in the World Championship, despite everybody saying that he wasn't invited. He decided to focus on training versus playing more games. It's just I don't know how you can be a fan of this team and not be excited. I understand being like cautious, because it's like, yeah, you know what, we've heard all this before, you know, things are looking good and all this, and then we get the rug pulled out from underneath us. I understand that. But right now, I truly think the positives are outweighing any potential negatives.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot pointing in the correct direction now, right? Like now that we have what we were looking for with an experienced coach and also somebody that works really good with developing young players. It's kind of like we got the best of both worlds because it's not like very often that you find somebody that is both. Like a lot of the experienced coaches that were available were basically guys that are in win now mode teams, which is mostly like veterans and things like that. And a lot of like guys that are good at developing kids, those are probably like the rookie coaches, you know, like the guys that are from the minor leagues or NCAA with David Carl. Like, so we got like a really good, like best of both worlds kind of coach.
100%. Yeah. And people need, and again, everybody coming out saying like this isn't the right move and all this kind of stuff, like, and already judging him, you know, on the stuff. It's like, dude doesn't even have the team that we don't even have our team is going to be out on opening night.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's like so crazy to me. And it's like, we're only going to be adding more pieces. We're going to be adding a very good player, 3rd overall. We're going to hopefully add a good solid vet piece to add to the offensive group to have that extra addition. Doesn't sound like it's going to be Mitch Marner. I believe it was Scott Powers was saying that the Hawks weren't expecting to heavily pursue him this offseason, which
I'm curious where he gets that though.
Where do any of these guys get anything?
I feel like I've seen it like recently. Oh, I forgot where I saw it, but it was like, oh, the interest is high with like 4 teams, and it was like us, Anaheim, LA, and someone else. Because it also said like, but Marner is like really interested in Vegas and the Panthers. It's like cool.
That's why it's like,
original.
Yeah. I don't understand where anybody gets any other information. So it's like, take it with a grain of salt. I am more moving on the bandwagon of Sam Bennett.
Maybe.
I think I'd rather have a Bennett for lesser term. You know, not like a 7-year deal.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what he's looking for, but like, I feel like just give us Brock Besser. That's it. That's all we need.
No, that's plan A. Yeah, 100% that's plan A. But like, I wouldn't hate Sam Bennett. It'd be good to have a nice guy. Give everybody reason to actually hate the Hawks, not just because the Hawks are the Hawks.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right to me, which is so weird.
Yeah,
it's just that I feel like he's gonna end up being somebody that gets paid more than what he probably would make had he not been playing on a Stanley Cup team.
What's he making right now? Because I keep seeing a lot of people saying like it's probably going to be in the 10 range for him.
Yeah, and that's way too fucking much. That's so much. Right now he's making
the UFA right now.
Oh, okay, great. They updated this.
Yeah, 4.425.
4.425. Yeah. Yeah, if they think that he's going to get 10 in free agency, it's like no.
Double it and I'd be happy. Let's give him an 8.
I would say like 7 is like the 6.5, 7.
No more than 8.
No.
No more. No more than 8.
That's just me though. It's just I feel like it's just like that, you know, a guy who really plays his role very well on a championship team, and then he's gonna get like a monster like Dave Bolland. Remember, I forgot he got like $6 million or something. Like
Bickle.
Well, no, Bickle got traded, but Bickle was saying like Bowman's fucking like, oh, this guy's nasty in the playoffs. Let me give him $4+ million. But Bolland was the one that like got signed by Toronto, and they were paying for the Stanley Cups that he was a part of. Paid him like he was a second or borderline first line center, and he's just a really good third line center on a really good Hawks team. I don't know. That kind of shit. Andrew Ladd got paid. That's what I would worry about, like Sam Bennett just being like basically overpaid for being on a good team. Like he plays well. Like don't get me wrong, but I'm just worried that it would just be like because of how good his team is. It sounds dumb as I say it. It probably is dumb. That's just what I'm thinking.
Oh man. But yeah, Jeff Blashill.
Hell yeah.
He's the man. And I'm excited to see what's next. You got anything else on him before we move on?
No. It's so Sorensen staying. Pekka is a part of it. Kevin
Jimmy
Dean
Wade.
is gone. Jimmy Wade's staying as the goalie coach. Kevin Dean's gone.
Derek
King's gone.
I think you're saying Derek King goes back to Rockford because they need a head coach again.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they have a scout that was coaching?
Essentially, yeah.
So that's kind of funny.
But, yeah. So this is probably gonna be a short episode. There's not much going on. Talking about the World Championship, and I don't know if you heard the news. USA, baby.
USA
It was the first time in 92 years that they won the World Championship. They beat Switzerland. What was it, 1-0 in overtime?
Yep.
On a ridiculous shot from Tage Thompson too. But the big story. Oh, real quick before we talk about that, I'm on the website for the World Championship, and they do their power ranking as of May 25th. So USA, they put little comments like next to each ranking. So number 1 is USA, and their comment is, "If we did it, the Leafs can do it too."
Why's it got to be about the Leafs?
Right. And then so USA, Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Canada. How about that Canadian? Like just so cocky that they were gonna win, that they didn't even bring their stuff with them to play Denmark. They left it all in Sweden, so now they had to go travel back to get all their stuff to go home.
On the same plane.
Yeah. Same plane as Denmark. That's fucking amazing. Fuck Canada.
And then they get smoked like 6-0.
Yeah. Amazing. The big news was the Frankie Nazar come out party, just announcing to the world that I'm a fucking superstar. Absolutely unreal play. He finished the tournament with 12 points in 10 games, 6-6.
Yep.
Was I think the top point getter for the US.
I think he tied for points.
Was it points? Oh yeah, with Logan Cooley. He was the top goal scorer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had the most goals for the US. No, he didn't. He tied with fucking Tage Thompson. What the fuck was I seeing?
I don't know. I still made most goals. Tied. It's fine. Tied for most points. Tied for most goals.
Absolute buzzing out there.
Yeah, I mean he was named a top 3 player for Team USA. It's like pretty goddamn good.
I mean, you talk about 32 Thoughts was talking about how big of a game that championship game was for a Jeremy Swayman and all that kind of stuff. And it's in a Tage Thompson, because now it's they think he didn't get picked for 4 Nations because he didn't have experience winning or anything like that.
Winning anything, they said.
So if that's a positive for them, I can only imagine what Vlasic and Nazar are going to take back to Chicago, and in the taste of winning and success that they have now, that's only going to have to fuel them even more.
Yeah, and especially since it's they're technically meaningful games. I mean, in the long run, not really, but because of you're playing for your country, playing those meaningful games and playing well, it's great for them.
Yeah, 100%. So just great to fucking see it. Maybe Nazar gets on the radar for the Olympics.
Is this a real thing? So it's just really funny. Elite Prospects has like a feed that's just started. And like if you're following teams or players, like it shares things. And as of 6 days ago, this is crazy. Roman Kanserov won an award for most game-winning goals in the KHL playoffs.
It's an award?
That's an award, which is funny.
Hell yeah.
Is it like I'm so confused? It's like I didn't even know that he scored that many in the playoffs. I'm confused because wait, was this 23-24? Sorry, now that I'm doing like research in the second 23-24. Okay, because I just checked his playoff stats and he had 2 assists this year. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? We had 4 goals last year. Okay, cool. KHL baby, whatever.
Hell
He
yeah.
was only 20 years old last year and he's lighting it up. Can't wait for him to come over the following season.
Dude, this team's gonna be so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Once all the pieces get together, man, it's beating a goddamn dead horse, but like I'm so fucking excited. It's long. It's been hard to wait, but it's
so hard.
But it's like here we are. We're on the cusp, and I stick with my 3 years until we're big time again.
Yeah. I think like you said before, like this year, if we can get like 10 more points, more than that, like that's a success. It's not about pushing playoffs. If they do, like that's crazy. I just would not expect it the following year. Or I probably would. I'm just saying it now that I wouldn't, but I'd be too in the moment of like, well, fucking run it back.
Let's go. So, do you have anything else for Hawks talk?
Nope.
All right, let's just do a quick playoff update. We'll keep this real short today. So the Stanley Cup Conference Finals are ongoing, and it looks like we're gonna on the verge of a rematch from last year's final. Florida snaps the losing streak, or Carolina snaps the losing streak in the conference finals, picking up the win against Florida 3-0 the other night. It's the first win in the conference finals since Rob Brigmore scored the game-winning goal to send the Carolina Hurricanes to the Stanley Cup final in 2006. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just so crazy to me.
I heard this other stat. You know how some people cherry pick stats for like the Buffalo Sabres have won more playoff series than the Toronto Maple Leafs have. Yeah. I heard this one today that the Buffalo Sabres have won an Eastern Conference final game more recently than the Carolina Hurricanes up until yesterday. Because they were in the conference final the following year against Ottawa.
That's right.
So the Canes have made it there 3 more times after that, and the Sabres still had more wins in the conference final, which is so funny.
Poor Buffalo, man. Just totally gets like...
they're the lowest bar is what, that's why it's always brought up.
I know, it's so ridiculous. It's insane. But yeah, I still don't think this one gets past game 5. I think Florida's got this wrapped up, but it would be amazing to see Carolina not lose another playoff game this season and just go on reverse sweep and then sweep Edmonton, or if Dallas can come back, that would be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be funny because like Florida almost lost it last year in the final. Like, let's just make it a round earlier this year. See if it'll go 7 and be a tight one.
If this goes 7, it's all Carolina. There's no way they don't.
I'm pretty sure that like that's what everybody thought last year in the final.
I don't know. It's just something. There's just something different too. Like I don't know. I feel like it's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Especially given the history of the 0 for 15. You know, like
right.
Like 0 for 15, and now we've got that one win.
It's the floodgates.
That's all we needed was the one.
Yeah.
Or what did you say about the tennis player?
Cool. Oh, I forgot what his name was. It's like Vlasic. Blazinkis. Oh my god, I gotta fucking. But it was a quote from like the 80s where a guy had lost in tennis like 16 times to one guy, and then on the 17th match he ends up winning, and he goes like, let that be a lesson to everyone. You don't ever beat Rudolph Balzinki's 17 times in a row. It's just so good. And so like that's what it kind of felt like for the Canes. It's like, yeah, nobody's gonna beat us 16 times in a row in the Eastern Conference Final.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
If they just like you said, now they're gonna win like 15 at least Eastern Conference Finals games in a row just to bring it back even.
Yeah.
Just to have that balance.
All right, now we're squared. Let's start from scratch and let's move on to this new era. And then looking over at the East, right now you have
the West.
The West. What did I say?
You said the East, so then I just said West.
Oh, so go to the West. Edmonton is up 2-1 in that series, and ironically enough, right now they're up 2-1 with 59 seconds left in the second period. This has becoming like a very chippy series. Lots of injuries, players coming out. Zach Hyman gets hurt and leaves the game today. Connor Brown is out. Rupe Hintz was hurt, but he came back, I believe, today.
Yeah, he was in today, and then Bouchard gave him a little chop to the foot because his injury was a foot injury. It's like, that's why they don't say what kind of injury it was, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still pulling for Dallas, man. I can't stand the fact to see either Stan Bowman or Seth Jones will be getting a Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
A
little bit of bad on both sides.
So, other than that, I got nothing else.
Yeah. There's Brendan Shanahan out in Toronto, and Stan Darsh. It's not. It's like, what is it, Mark or something?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Because I always think of Stan Darsh.
Yeah, it's you can't fucking say the name Darsh and not think of that episode. If you know from South Park the like skiing episode.
Matthew Darsh.
It's just gonna adopt the nickname Stan.
Stan Darsh. So yeah. All right.
Was there anything else other than that? I think there's no other coach hirings. There's nothing.
Nothing yet.
Let's check NHL. Oh, I did also just want to bring up the fact that I did like when US was getting the gold and they brought up the Gaudreau jersey. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
I think it's just so cool how much they've like really embraced that during like the Four Nations, during the World Championships, and like I hope they just continue to have that with them.
He was a staple for Team USA, man. Like all those kind of stuff, and he would be right there in the mix with all these teams if he was still with us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they remember him and honor him. I hope they continue to do it through the Olympics and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that college hockey or some sort of award should be like made. I don't even know if college hockey has like a Lady Byng type of award for like, most sportsmanship or like most sportsmanly player. Maybe just do that. Do something like that for Johnny Hockey.
I agree. 100%.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they only have the Hobie Baker. Now that I'm thinking of it, they don't have like any other like specific awards, so that makes sense.
All right, what do you want to call episode 321?
I was trying to think of like a Blashill pun, but I can't think. I don't know. Just make it welcome Blashill.
I think I did that last week, honestly.
No, we didn't. I checked. It said like new bench boss. Let's see. I can't think. I don't know.
All right, I'll figure something out. So make sure to follow us on all the
It's just
podcast feeds.
His name is Jeff.
Yeah, my name is Jeff.
His name is Jeff.
Oh, new boss badge found ?
Yeah. And then
Should I
just do
be-
the same thing, just no question mark.
Or should I just do confirmed new bench boss found?
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right. So make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feed, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the big two, YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Social media at WCB Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Love, boys. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.